But today I want to touch on this blood sugar balance because I feel it's important and vital that everybody works on balancing their blood sugar with a good healthy diet, and there are many reasons why. So I want to run through those and explain how you can do it. So I have many clients come to me, and they might not be coming to me because they're a diabetic. They might not be even a pre-diabetic, but they might have these certain signs of dysregulated blood sugar balance. So what are the signs? Well, you might have sugar cravings, or just crave and be hungry all the time. You might not feel satiated after you've eaten your meal. You might have mood swings. You might suffer from anxiety. You might be gaining weight. You might find it hard to get up in the morning or have really low energy. So all these things are actually signs that your blood sugar balance is not as it should be. Now, many of my clients, as I said, I work with a lot of clients who struggle with emotional eating, yo-yo dieting, disordered eating, and they can be quite complex. But even for those, the foundations of where we start is to balance their blood sugar levels. So that's absolutely key. I also work with people who have perhaps hormone imbalances, such as PCOS, or perhaps they're heading into the menopause. And for those people, balancing your blood sugar is absolutely key. As we head into the menopause, unfortunately, one of the unhappy symptoms that goes with it is that we are less able to manage our blood sugar as well as we could before. And PCOS, one of the key things for many people with PCOS is dysregulated blood sugar balance. So for those people, it's really, really key. I obviously have people that come to me that haven't really thought about it at all, but just having these symptoms, they feel like they don't understand why, and then we might get them tested and they could possibly be pre-diabetic. But they hadn't really thought about that. And also I could have diabetic people come and see me as well. But the good news is that for people who are diabetic, we now know that through diet we can actually reverse type 2 diabetes. I'm not talking about type 1, I'm talking about type 2 diabetes. So there are plenty of people that can really, really benefit from this. But of course, we don't want anyone to get to that point where they are pre-diabetic. We want to be able to prevent it. And that's why eating to balance your blood sugar is so important. But there's one other thing I want to say about why it's extra important and why we need it now. And that is because of the link between obesity and diabetes, and having a worse outcome if we are unfortunate to have COVID-19. There is a big link there. So we really want to have the extra protection to look after ourselves and to eat in a way to balance our blood sugar. So the big question is, how do we do it? And I want to give you my top ways of starting and getting balanced blood sugar naturally with what you eat. So first of all, I suppose the obvious thing is reducing our sugar in our diet, but you may say, yes, easier said than done. So I'm going to help you explain how we can do that as well. So another thing that it might sound a bit obvious is eating 3 balanced meals. It might sound obvious, but it's many people I find skip meals. They skip breakfast, they might work through lunch, they might be restricting their food in some way, and by skipping those meals, they're going to end up perhaps at the end of the day or even throughout the day wanting to graze and binge, and perhaps on foods that are going to really help dysregulate their blood sugar. Refined carbohydrates, so that's the white refined carbs like white pasta and white rice and white bread and pastries and those kind of things, cakes and biscuits and sugar are going to spike your blood sugar right up, and then you will release that insulin to get it right down. So you'll be doing this zigzag kind of movement in terms of your blood sugar, so it'll be going up and down, and that's why you get those really unfortunate symptoms that come with it. So how do we get balanced meals. What is a balanced meal? So we really want to be having around a quarter of our plate to be protein, and that can be animal protein or plant protein. So that's things like meat, fish, eggs, chicken, beans, nuts, seeds, lentils, tofu, tempeh. We want to have only around a quarter of our plate the starchy carbs. So these are things like whole grains, so more like brown rice, buckwheat, and all those kind of quinoa can go in there, all those kind of things that we're not getting those refined carbs in there, but also things like sweet potatoes and parsnips and the root veggies. And then the rest of our plate, half our plate, we want to pile high with non-starchy veg and salads and things like that. So we really want to get as much variety in as possible, and that fibre that is provided in those foods is really important to slow down the release of glucose into the bloodstream, as is the protein. So it's really, really key. Another thing that helps us to feel satiated throughout the day is to make sure we're getting our healthy fats. So people who are on low fat diets will not necessarily feel satiated. So that's things like our oily fish, nuts, seeds and olive oil. So those things will really help you. Now, I hope that helps, but I'd love to hear your feedback and your comments. Are you doing this at the moment? Is it helping you? Is it something you'd like to try? Please let me know. Have a wonderful day, and love to hear your feedback. Take care. Bye.